It'll build up. There ain't nobody right now. Somebody sent prayers. There's one. Now we're starting to build one. 4.
All right, so just to let everybody know, we took a little breather and everything, and right now what I'm going to do is if anybody has any questions they want to ask me or Dustin, he'll try to answer them to the best that he can, and I'll answer them to the best I can. So if anybody wants to ask any questions or anything like that, go ahead and ask a question, and we'll try to answer it the best way we can.
They're still coming back. We're up to 27. Donald, have they given you any test results on Mackenzie's examination?
Okay, the test results on Mackenzie's exhuming, they said is anywhere from the time they exhumed her up to 6 months. We're hoping and praying that October is when it will come back. The results will. I talked to the prosecutor today, and we're still waiting on them. The thing with the test results is there's so many cases that come into BCI, so Mackenzie's like another on a waiting list, and as they work each case down to what that detective of wherever the area is that they're looking for those results, DNAs and stuff, Mackenzie will fall in as they go. Right now, all I know is we're waiting, and they're looking at about 6 months.
Might want to tell them again to have any questions.
Oh, yeah, I got something for you, too.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. You will definitely be seeing me wear this.
That's a Justice for Mackenzie shirt. I think you well deserve it.
Definitely.
I know we talked earlier today, and I know you said something about your cash flow and everything. And,
yeah, I really wanted a shirt.
You really wanted a shirt, so we went ahead and got you one.
Yep. You know, because we all are in this together. It's not just you. It's not just you fighting. It's not me just trying to help you to fight. It's everybody watching all these videos. It's everybody that's helped you, give you any information. It's a community battle, I guess you would say.
Right.
You know, there is a lot of people supporting, helping, and you know, I also want to thank all you guys that has helped you. You know, every little bit that helps you right now is helping to the ultimate goal, and that's for her.
Right.
You know, so we have.
And we appreciate you. We really do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Like I said, I know it's hard to come to somebody that lost a child and try to say, hey, you know, I just want to, you know, let you know that, you know, I went through that too.
Yeah.
And the stuff that you went through. But as a community, like I've always said, there's more of us than there is of them.
Yep.
And as long as we're together and we can help every child,
that's the main goal. Yep.
I want Mackenzie's name not to be about a murder, about a fire. I want it to be a name that what she's always her goal was, and that was to help children. And that's what I want Mackenzie to stand for.
And that's why
and I know there's more kids out there like you that have a story or want somebody to talk to. And like I said, even if you don't want to speak to me, there is other people that I know that are well worth talking to.
Yeah, and if anybody watching, you know, wants to talk, I'll be more than happy to listen, talk. You know, I'll be here or help you with advice the best I can. You know, like I said, I would talk to your boys, you know. You know, anything I can do to help, that's what I'm here for. And that was my goal, was to be able to help you in some way, shape, or form.
And you know, I can vouch for the community, and we're all sorry that you went through what you went through. We're all sorry that, you know, Mackenzie and my boys and this other child went through. But we know now what's going on in this town. And we know there's other people involved in this, and it's going to get out.
Yeah.
And we're going to get things changed in this community.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good-hearted people in this community that, you know, that grew up here all their lives. And like I told you today, you know, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I moved here. I, you know, met Mary. I had 3 kids. I ended up having more kids here, and this is now my home.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I never thought that this stuff was going on in this community until my daughter died. And then I started seeing things and hearing things. And I'll be honest, I was being nosy and put my nose in places to find out who's a liar and who ain't a liar. And it's a shame that there's so many people in these offices that make the decisions of people's lives and their kids' lives. And when they fail, this is the result you get.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate that my daughter had to die for people to realize what's going on. I know last few weeks ago I played a tape, and like I said, right there, for example, is Children's Services agreeing that they knew this was going on, but never investigated it. And one of the biggest changes I want to see is I am so sick and tired of when somebody that cares in our community and they make a phone call to our Children's Services, they mail out a letter and they give that person 7 days to clean up whatever, or put food in their cabinets, or hide their drugs, and then they walk into a house and it's like, oh, okay, everything's good here, and they leave.
Yeah.
They don't speak to the children. They don't do anything, and then they leave, and then it goes right back the next day to that child suffering again.
Yep.
And this is a prime example. Mackenzie's death. Yep. My boys, this other child, you are prime examples of the system failing our children.
They want to know if what you went through was reported to Children's Services.
At one time, yes, it was. My dad had major custody of me. You know, my dad was my hero, was my best friend, it saves me. You know, Dad ended up getting custody of me. Except shared parenting is how it was, you know. When, you know, my dad wanted to be fair, give my mom time. Mom's, you know, Mom was with a bad person. Mom wasn't a bad person, you know what I mean? Right. She was getting used and abused, as I told you, and she kept taking it, you know, and that's her relationship, so I don't have no say-so in that, but that was my mother. I still want to see her, you know, so I was trying to do things right. I as a child, I don't know exactly why things was the way they was, but it was, you know, if something happened, call Dad. Dad'd come get me, you know. That'd make things better.
And you just saying that now, that was the same way with my situation. Was my kids, you know, I remember Mackenzie even telling me that she wanted Mom and Dad together. That was all that mattered to her. And that's why my kids were in counseling. And it was the same way there. It's like, you know, Marianne wasn't a bad person until a certain man went into her life. And then there was my kids getting hurt. Her getting hurt. To my daughter dying. And that's how I know, like I said, when you just answer that person's question, I've never heard you say what you just said. And that's what I said, the more, you talk, the more it fills in my holes of what my kids were trying to tell me was going on in their life. And, I tried. Probably your dad did the same thing. We tried. I ended up with custody of my kids because of the same reason. It's hard to understand, and your dad probably goes through this too. Why would the mother allow a boyfriend do the stuff he's doing to your own kids?
And it's not only mothers with stepdads, you would say. It's also fathers with stepmoms too, and it goes both ways. So you can't, as a child, you can't choose who your parents are with. You just got to deal with the cards you're dealt with and make the best of the situation. And that's what we did. I love my mom. My mom was a good mother, a great mother. She tried making up for what Kenny did in her own ways, But at the same time, my mom's getting wore down and beat up from these things too. Not being funny or anything, but Christmas Day when I asked where Kenny was at, and Mom said Kenny's gone. And I said, when's he coming back so we can open presents or whatever? She said he's gone for good. That was the best thing that could have ever happened for me or my mom, because he was gone. Well, I was wrong thinking that as a kid, I thought as a kid that was the best thing. I didn't think about who was next. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You just knew you were free.
Yeah.
That you were free.
Yep.
From the abuse and the...
And that bothers me that I felt like that, and that I remember saying that, that's the best thing, that he can be gone. I didn't think what could have happened next.
Now, I'm going to tell you a story about Mackenzie. The way Mackenzie ended up with her mother was, Mackenzie came to me, and Mackenzie said, Dad, Mom wants girls with girls, boys with boys. And she's going to try to get Jennifer, her sister. Mm-hmm. And Kenny is to be thrown out of the house and not to return. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen that way. When Mackenzie went there, Kenny was still there. When Jennifer never came, her sister never moved in. And Mackenzie started realizing the lies that were told to her. And she even came to me and said that, Kenny said, he ain't going nowhere, Dad. That's his house.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that hundreds of times, yep. Myself.
Even though it wasn't his house. No. And I think my daughter realized the lies, and I think there was other things going on there at that house that my daughter didn't agree to and appreciate what's happening to her. And I know she was ready to come home. It's just, unfortunately, she didn't make it home. Yeah. She knew where she was safe. And I just heard you say the same thing, that, your dad was your rock.
Oh, yeah.
And
my dad even stuck up for my mom, too, at the situation.
And you just sitting there saying that, and, and it was the same way with me.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize is the night that Mackenzie died and I was told my daughter died, the first thing out of because I knew my daughter was gone. Mm-hmm. I was told. The first thing out of my mouth was, is Marianne alive? Because I didn't know if she went back in that house and tried to save my baby and pull her out. Because that was my last conversation with her was, why are you on the phone with me? Get your ass in there and save our baby.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why she was on the phone with me, with my child in the house. And that was the first thing I asked. And that was even with my wife. Standing right there, I still wanted to know if she was all right, because you never think that a person wouldn't save their kid.
Yeah.
And when I was told that, she was standing on the porch and she waited 20 minutes to tell firemen that she was in the house, I would never have thought of that. And you do,
Yep.
Holly asked if Kenny has ever been questioned on any of these child abuse claims.
No. Kenny's never been questioned. He's never been brought in. He's never been investigated. I do have all that evidence. Just like on the tape with Dusty Ruth, where he told that he, things. Every time I've got the paperwork, I can find it. It'll take me a few days, but I've got children's services where they made statements that every time they went out to the house to question Kenny, he was gone. And my question to children's services was, every time you went out there and he was gone, that should have been a hint, for one. Number two, why didn't you go to the courts and get a court order and have him brought in?
They're giving warnings.
No, he's never been investigated and he's never been questioned of anything with any of the abuse. I don't know on your part.
No, there was nothing ever with mine. Like I told you, my dad got me out of the situation. Kenny got worse every year. So at his worst was the last years, and at the last years I was with my dad. The most, I'd get away as much as I could, put it that way. If things would go bad, I'd get out and be bad, You didn't know what you was going into. Yeah, right. You didn't know if it was going to be a good day, bad day. Is he mad at mom? Am I going to make him mad? So you just had to play your cards, see what was going to happen.
Right.
And if things got too bad, then, hey, Dad, you come get me,
Right.
So,
And I've been there. I've been on the father part, like your dad.
Yep.
I've been there where my kids said, man, come and get me, or my kids would get dropped off and then they would come in the house. And then my first thing out of my daughter's mouth was, Dad, you got to look at Harrison. He's hurt. Or Dad, you got to look at Douglas. He's hurt. And they were hurt every time. And it's sad, that you guys went through this stuff. And like I said, it goes back to, again, our system failed you guys.
I want to bring up the phone things while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Here's a dirty trick that Kenny would do. Me and Dad would have a signal. If Dad needed,
go ahead and talk.
Okay,
I'll be right
if
back.
Dad needed to talk to me, he would ring the phone. Well, the cell phones wasn't as big. Hardly anyone had cell phones. It's very rare at this time as house phones. He would ring it once, and I knew that was him. So Kenny's supposed to be deaf, can't hear, whatever. Well, it got to where Kenny wouldn't let me use the phones, would hide the phones, if there was bad fights, pull the plugs out of the phone boxes, try blocking numbers, did any little way he could so I couldn't talk to my dad. And that's dangerous. If he's trying to get where something is happening and he's trying to make it where you can't contact help, that's just as dangerous as can be. And it got to the point where he would never. I would learn that he wouldn't unhook the computer internet line. Well, I would learn how to tie into that and use a phone. I'd hide a phone in my toy box. Just for that purpose, stuff like that. So that's just one of the dirty tricks that he comes up with. I even muted the phone before, hoping he wouldn't hear it. And he's deaf, but he would hear that phone ring, down on level 1. He wasn't as deaf as he was saying, because he heard that, and I got in absolute trouble for it. So. I mean, you take a child can't call a parent,
Right.
You're not right.
And my daughter, when you was telling me that story, my daughter same way. I never understood why she called me every day that she was at her mom's. She always called me, told me she loved me. And we did, some days we would do the prayer on the phone. She always had a prayer that she did, and we would do her prayer. Mm-hmm. And the 3 days up before she died, no phone call. None at all. And I never understood how. I couldn't understand why she never called me.
Yeah.
And I know the day of the fire, she made 5 phone calls to 5 different kids begging to spend a night with them kids. And all these kids have already contacted me now and let me know. When I did my protest and they came to me and they said, your daughter called me that night and everything. And I honestly believe someone out there knows something. And I honestly believe that it might be a child that my daughter told what was going on in her life. And we just had a question again, and the question was, have you ever crossed the path with Kenny since he's left? And I know you said 3 times.
I've only seen him 3 or 4 times, or dealt with him 3 or 4 times since he left on Christmas Eve. I know he come back when he broke in the house and stole that stuff, but I didn't see him that time.
The tattoo?
The tattoo, I believe, was the first time. And then the second time would have been when he just popped in randomly. Just showed up when I was telling you about prom night.
Oh, yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell.
Okay, yeah.
About prom.
So he popped in, no reason, showing up. Think he was trying to see where he could get away with Mom. I would just leave it like that. And then...
Which your mom made him leave, right?
He ended up leaving, yep. And then the last time that he ever showed up was out of random. No reason that, which would have been... I think the Ranger, when he was driving the Ranger. That was the last vehicle, I think, which would have been 2008, something like that. Yeah. Just randomly shows up, knocking on the back door. I look, and I said, Mom, you ain't gonna believe who's here. She said, who? I said, Kenny's out there. She said, don't play like that. I said, no, he's out here. I said, I ain't even answered the door. I said, just let him stand out there and knock. And she said, no, I got this. He don't belong here. And she went and ran him off, and that was the last time we ever heard from him. I would ask him, when he did show up, I'd be honest, I'd be a mouthy, smart ass. I'd be like, don't you have family you need to go to? Don't you have a home somewhere else and stuff like that? He didn't care why he was showing up or what he was doing,
Right.
What his reasons was. He didn't have no reason to stop by. Mom, he wasn't wanted there. Mom didn't instigate him. Mom didn't ask him. It was all random stops whenever he would show up. So yeah, I'm going to guess 3 times. The tattoo, prom night, and the last one. When Mom ran him off, and that night, she cleared house. So yeah, so I ain't seen him. If I was 2008, so 9, 10, a long time, right? So, yeah, I've not had to deal with him since then.
They also asked why you think he did what he abused you like he did. Was it control or just just wanted to feel big bad person?
I truly think Kenny has problems. I think Kenny needs to seek help. He has a path before me of hurting kids. He has a path after me hurting kids. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just there was more. Right. I'm going to say he has something wrong with him. He needs to get worked out. He needs to get help. Something is not right. I don't know if it'd be control issues or is it that he's preying on smaller people. Like he's got to be. Kenny always has to be macho man. He always has to have the best of stuff. He's always a big money schemer. Big bright ideas, fake stuff. You know, just like him trying to talk my mom into buying a ranch. He's going to be a big rancher. 2 horses. That's a real big rancher, you know.
Right.
Big time truck driver. 1 truck. But it's not. I don't know what his problem is, but he's always got to put a show on for everybody. I guess the show is to cover up what's behind closed doors, I would guess. I guess is that how you would say it? I mean, I have personal vengeance
with my
Right.
kids, I always felt that Kenny, to control me as the dad, because they were my kids, and he knew the love I had for my kids, just like you were talking about with your father. And I think it was he tried to hurt me by hurting my kids. He knew that he could get away with a lot, and he did get away with a lot. And I think that more,
Dustin,
you know, like a
I ain't gonna
habit.
say this name because
Huh?
I ain't gonna say this name. I want to show you what you said.
Okay. Shane, I'll get a hold of you about that. I appreciate what you said, brother. That was nice of you. You know, I just honestly thought of something. And when you're saying that, Kenny, let's say he has a gas tank in his system, right? When he's running low, that's when he's preying on shit. When he's preying on people.
You're fine.
Women, talk ignorant. When he's preying on women and children, that's what makes him tough. Because he's always got to try to be tough, be macho. Well, okay, I just zapped him with the horse thing. He got off on that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That filled a little bit of his gas tank. The truck driving, firefighter, that's what filled his gas tank. That's what makes him who he is. You know, when his gas tank start running low, it's when he go back pray and tries, you know, out to get you, whatever. You know, I won't say places or names, but you know, Kenny's a known thief. You know, he's a known liar.
Right.
Children, women, you know, just all the lying, the games and stuff. That shows you what kind of person he is.
Right.
I don't know why Kenny does the stuff he does, but I wish he'd get help. If nothing, you know, when all this boils down, I hope one of his things is that he does have to get help.
Somebody asked if drugs or alcohol ever played a big part in the way Kenny acted.
Okay, I know he's a big time beer drinker. You know, I know he'd get drunk, be all over the place. I was with Dad at nights, so I always seen Kenny drinking, but I wasn't with them very much at nights because my dad felt I was safer at home at nights. But I know he drank a lot, and I know he did have some alcohol problems. I personally never seen no drugs. Just talk, guy stuff, you know, about that, but I never seen no drugs in front of me. I don't think so. If he did, he didn't do it around my mom because my mom would absolutely not allow that no matter what. My mom would have kicked him to the curb for drugs. My mom's 100% against drugs. So I don't think now when he went off on his adventures, that's hard to tell. the parties I was telling you about.
Right.
There are certain parties I know he went to multiple times a year. Those was all drinking, drug-induced parties. But I don't, and I know my mom refused to go to them because of what Kenny would do.
Right.
See, me talking about this stuff is me looking back. 20 years would be the earliest. I'm looking back 20 years on this to 2004 would be 14. So between 12 and 20 years, I'm looking back on this stuff. So I'm trying. I have a hard time putting in what I know now as an adult with what was I thinking as a kid. That's
Right.
two different things, you
Right.
know. So,
And I understand what you're saying there because I know a girl contacted me and she told me that, you know, she was best friends with Mackenzie. And Mackenzie and her, I mean, she knew everything about Mackenzie. But when the detective finally talked to her, she was in the 10th grade. From the 3rd grade to the 10th grade. And her exact words was, I couldn't remember what I did or what was going on, you know, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Yeah. And that was so wrong. I think with the detectives on that part, you know, they should have immediately started investigating immediately, and they didn't. That was their downfall. That was their mistake they made. Because like you said, even with you trying to remember what all you went through as a kid and a child, is hard for anybody. Even people that weren't abused or anything, to try to think about what you did when you were 5 years old, 6 years old. And it's the same way with my boys. My oldest one can remember a lot more than my youngest one can.
Right.
He went through the same things. He was abused too, but he can't remember details as much as my 18-year-old can. And I understand that part. You know, like I said, even as a normal person that wasn't abused or whatever, it's hard to remember what you did when you were a child.
See, I was getting, from all that stuff, you know, I'm a big-hearted person. I hold on to stuff more, and stuff affects me bigger than what it does most people. I was filling up with a lot of bad, you know. I had to teach myself stuff that I did wrong, you know, stuff that been done wrong to me. I was filling up with a lot of hate and getting in a bad spot. I personally had to learn that if I did not get rid of all this negative stuff that's filling me up, if I did not get rid of that, something bad was going to happen. I don't know what it was. I was going to have a nervous breakdown or something like that, but I was a miserable person. But I learned if I would delete or get this gas tank again full of bad out, I learned that one good thing is twice as big as two bad. And I learned that, and so I used that as a tool. I would delete some of this bad stuff and put it away. And I wouldn't think about it, touch it again. I would do symbolic stuff. Like I would write bad stuff down or stuff that I wanted to get rid of.
Right.
Throw it away. I write it down and throw it away. And that was me throwing that stuff away. I was getting rid of all that stuff. That stuff's in the past. I cannot do nothing about that now. So I was trying to make room for good, and when I started getting around the good people, doing good things, helping people, I was filling up with that good, and I was learning that, hey, this is working. So, you know, that's how I learned how to handle with everything. And, you know, I ain't talked about this stuff in, well, truthfully, years since, you know, it happened. If I had to tell Dad or something. So, you know, this stuff's, like I said, it's 20 years ago. You know, I do have a hard time remembering some of this stuff. My first video, I couldn't get it out better, but we'll get everything wrote out, where I can have my timeline and look.
Well, like I told you, you know, take your time. And you know, I mean, you know, it's like I said before, it's not only about Mackenzie, it's about all of y'all. And I don't want you to feel uncomfortable with anything, you know, when you're comfortable with it. Yeah. And you know, we've already talked about this, and you know, I know you said earlier, you know, there's still a lot more, but you're just not ready, and that's fine. And that's fine. The thing of it is like I said, we all know. Yeah. And the community knows now that you know, Mackenzie wasn't the only victim.
Well, you know, also sometimes I don't know what you know, how much you let them know about the abuse and stuff. I don't know where you draw the line, so I don't want to say something and then it come, you know, like, oh, well, you know, if I say something bad that happened, you know, I didn't want to cross your lines too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to disrespect you, is what I'm saying.
Well, you're not going to disrespect.
I don't want to take the story, you know.
When you're ready, we're ready.
Yeah, yeah.
I can put it that way. One thing about the supporters I have and the community I have, we're ready when you're ready. And you know, and we're not in no hurry. You know, when you're comfortable, when you feel like you want to talk more. I mean, I appreciate that you wanted to go live and tell your story anyways. I'm glad that you contacted me today. You pulled up in my driveway. You know, let me know that, hey, I want to tell my story.
Tell them, though, you know, when we did talk for a little bit, I wanted to meet you firsthand. We got to talk a little bit, get to know each other. That way, well, if we just went Facebook Live first thing tonight, that's the first time we met was 3 o'clock today.
3 o'clock
3 to 4 o'clock. I talked to you for an hour. That's the first time we met. Other than 2 or 3 phone calls before. Right. Just give them an idea, because I'm having a hard time thinking right now. When I would talk to you, I'd be able to finish your sentences and stuff you say. Right. You could finish mine. When I would tell you this stuff, I could give you dates, names, information about the stories. I was matching all my facts up, so they wasn't no crazy far-fetched lies. I'm not coming and saying, hey, Kenny did this stuff to me too. I'm not jumping on a wagon train. You know, I just wanted you to let them know that. So
trust me, the supporters that I have understand everything. Trust me, they do. They understand it, and like I said, it's when you're ready. Yeah. It's when you're comfortable. And the people that watch my live feeds and follow my story with Mackenzie, they all know that I have not even told a lot of stuff yet. Yep. There's still stuff. There's reasons I haven't told things. Mm-hmm. You know, because one thing with me, when I go to my supporters and I go to my community, I want to be able to say this, but then I can say, here's why. Yep. Here's the truth. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And so the people that we're talking to and that are following this and everything, trust me, they are so respectful of you to come out and do this. I can tell you that right now. There's a lot of parents out there, a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers, and you've got now their support. I can guarantee you've got their support. You're a victim. No matter how you look at it, you're a victim. And we all know that. And it takes a lot for you to, like I said, to come to me, find me, and say, look, man, I really want to talk to you. I don't know you, but I want to tell you my story. Yep. And, you know, thank God I had a wonderful daughter that said, Dad, you need to listen. Yeah. There's kids out there that know more, and she has told me this. Yeah. And they want you to know what's going on. And I always listen to what my daughter tells me. Yep. Most of my people that's followed me knows me. My friends that they know me. I'm not one of these. I could be sitting in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm doing this. Yeah. And I do it. Because Mackenzie comes down and she says, Dad, now's the time. Yep. And if it's 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yep, get up and do it. You know, just like I was telling you today when you pulled in my driveway, you know, I pay attention to everything that goes on and around me. And when we were sitting there talking for the first time, and that butterfly
That's
kept
exactly
circling
what I was getting at.
your
Went
truck.
right between me and you.
It went right between me and you, and that butterfly went right over there to the rose bushes. Yep. And I said, she's here.
And that's the first butterfly I've seen all summer.
Here. And she's here. And I said, there was a reason that you're here. And there is. Yep. A lot of people might not believe in this or believe what's going on, but I never met you my entire life. You've never met me. You never even knew who I was until Mackenzie's death, and then you saw me in the newspaper.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And still, we're looking at 10 years before you even still contacted me and said, hey, I'm such and such. This is what I want to do, and I want to talk to you.
Which she died in 2006. I was 16. You know, I'm still a kid. I didn't think I was any. It wasn't me.
Right.
I didn't know what to do as a kid. You know, I didn't know if anything this would help. You know, not until recently did I think, am I able to help him? Can I help him? Or would this help him? I had to factor all of them in, and would it hurt your feelings? Would it make you mad? You know, I had to factor all this stuff in, and I thought, well, if there's a single chance I can help him, Mackenzie, or somebody else, it's worth me going ahead and telling you how Kenny is, how growing up with him is, what your kids went through. I can't say what they went through, but the situations that they...
Because you lived it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's what I was about. I just wanted to try to help you, your family, or anybody that needs
help. And I can tell you right now, you're now, and you'll always be welcome in my home. Yep. You're always a part of my family. Mackenzie brought you to me for a reason. And anytime you need anything, and like I said, even if there's a time that I can't speak to you and you want to talk, there is good people that I know that will talk to you. Yep. So you always have that support. Mm-hmm. I have a sister that's amazing. She's was an advocate, and she's amazing. And she is probably the best hearted person in the world. And she would speak to you in a second.
Yeah.
I have other friends. Like I said, there's other people that follow me on Facebook. There's people on my friends list, and I know them. They would, if I said, look, I got such and such person that wants to talk, but I can't do it. Can somebody help me? My Facebook would light up.
And when we talked today at the truck, I asked you, I said, you know, this is completely me offering this to you. If your boys needed somebody to talk to, I would like to talk to them. I have talked to several kids that I've known that's had problems, whether they didn't have a good dad or they didn't have a good mom, or they're just sad or upset or whatever their problems was. I've had a list of several kids that I've helped, even adults too, that I would just talk and I try to always be a positive person. I never leave things on a negative note. If we're having a serious conversation, I'll end it with a joke just to leave on a positive note. So I am willing to talk to anybody that needs help on anything. It don't have to be nothing we're talking about. It could be just, I don't understand this kind of stuff, or whatever. You're sad. You need, you know.
Well, I can tell you one thing. My family appreciates you coming forward and meeting with me and filling in some of those empty spots that, you know, I've been searching for. And I know now more and more, even with you, I know more about what my kids went through. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I still have 2 teenagers, one that does know a lot more. And, you know, I tell my own kids, like I told you, when you're comfortable.
Yeah.
When the first time we met, you know, on Facebook, I told you, you know, when you're comfortable and you're ready to speak to me.
You've been great. You've never pressured me into doing nothing, never.
And
it's all, you've had the most respect, and I've done everything the correct way. And always respectful, 100%.
I appreciate that.
And I hope by me letting people know that, more will come to you. Just because you got that scruffy look don't mean me.
That's true. But But I can tell you one thing, I appreciate it, buddy. I really do.
Yeah, yeah.
We all do. That's here tonight. All the people that's watching and stuff. And like you said, when you're ready, I know there's more, and you said you would tell more.
We'll get there. Yeah.
And in time, we've got time now.
Yep.
Like I always try to say, this is Mackenzie's year.
Yep.
And it's been proven over and over. That girl is working so hard through all of us. And she is putting people into this, and she's directing people that didn't know which direction to go. She's bringing them,
yep.
and you know, it's sad that 10 years they've had this case and didn't go nowhere, and in less than 6 months, so much has surfaced, and people are now opening up, and people are coming forward, and everything. But our main thing, like I said, we got a strong community here, very loving community. We'll do anything for a lot of people. And our biggest fight is changing the way they handle situations. And that's law enforcement and children's services. That, you know, they need to react more on it immediately than giving people time. So I want to say this may not mean nothing. This is my opinion. You just brought it up. Go ahead, man. You
police officers, firefighters, volunteer firefighters, EMSs, children's services, anybody's job that touches life. See, there's many of jobs that I'm not. Doctors, if you're getting paid to do that job, you know, you chose. If you've done most of that jobs, you've had to go to school, and you've chose that for a reason. You're getting paid. If you're letting people down, the children's service lets you down, let everybody, you know, down like that, you know, sending that letter out, I'll be there in 7 days. That's a warning. That's get your stuff cleared, checked, fixed before I show up. That basically reads, when they send out that letter, fix your stuff because I don't want to deal with you in 7 days. You know.
And you're right. You're absolutely right.
You know, people need to do their job. Even if one person did their job a little bit better every day, things would tighten back up.
Yeah.
You chose children's services for a reason. Because you wanted to help kids. Are you helping kids? I'm a firm believer in no matter what you do, every night when I go to bed, I ask myself, did I do my 100% best today? And if I can't honestly say yes, then I didn't.
Right.
I think more people should do that. Children's service people, police officers, like I said, the whole list of anybody that deals with people, you know, and it's doctors too. It's everyone. Be more caring, be more kind, be more patient, listen to people.
And that's the problem with a lot of people is that I learned with Mackenzie. They only want to look at this much of the picture, and they forget about there's this much.
There's more than black and white.
That stands out here. And I've always seen their one focus is just what they can see right here between these hands. And that's all they concentrate on. And it's around the outside of that picture that is what's important.
Yep.
And they need to start opening it up wider. And they need, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of good moms. There's a lot of good dads. It goes both ways.
Oh, yes.
There's bad moms and there's bad dads. But we count on these agencies to do their job.
If it comes
to
down
protect us.
Yep.
And when they fail us, it's bad.
Also, not everybody gets it to the agencies.
That's right.
There's so many that it doesn't get there.
Right.
So,
but I do. I'm from the bottom of my heart.
To let you know, you did your 100% today.
What's that?
You did your 100%
thank you.
Today.
Yeah.
You did 100%, man. You know, like I said, everybody, Dustin is going to be back. He's got more to tell when he's comfortable to tell it.
Pictures.
And stuff. So, it is going to happen. We all know that this is her year. Mackenzie, like I said, is living in every one of us. She's bringing more and more into this circle, and justice will happen. And like I said, we all appreciate you.
Yep, I appreciate you too. Buddy.
I mean, we really do.
I do too. Yep,
to
awesome.
come out and tell your story. Like I said, you said the main thing in that a lot of people feel ashamed to tell something because it might embarrass them or it might upset somebody else. And I remember one of the things that you said to me tonight was you didn't know how the repercussion to come out of this by you opening up.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you one thing, and I guarantee you, everybody that's paying attention tonight on Facebook and everything will tell you, we got your back.
Yep.
You do not have to worry about him. You don't have to worry about him sending somebody. Because trust me, I've already had them. They've thrown green tomatoes at my house. And like I told everybody, they were good. Yeah. I cut them up, fried them. They were great. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to have the people out there that don't want the truth. Yep. They don't want to hear the truth. And we got to break that wall. But I can guarantee you, everybody that's paying attention tonight, they've seen you. They know you. Their hearts are with you. You ain't got to worry about anything with repercussion of what could have came out of this. Yeah. And that's the thing I want everybody to understand is what you said to me today. You know, you were thinking in your mind, man, if I say this, you know, what could come out? And that's what that person wants you to feel. Yeah. Because they don't want you to come out and tell that story.
Yep.
They don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
And you did one thing that a lot of kids haven't done, and that's you put that foot in that door and you said, no, I want to be heard.
Yep.
And I appreciate you, and so does everybody. I guarantee you, everybody on my page is following this, and people that's sharing it, and it's going to go all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a lot of support for what you've done. Not only coming out and telling your story, but you also served in our services and protected us so that we could lay our heads at night. And we appreciate your service for us on top of what you did tonight.
And I just want anybody who needs help, come, you know, it's an offer. Huh?
Don't be afraid to talk.
Yeah, I mean, just if you don't want to talk to him, talk to me. I'm a confidential person. As long as you're not going to get hurt in any shape or form, like if you're could possibly die, you know, I'm not going to say nothing to nobody about things that you going through, problems. You know, it's confident with me. As long as nothing's going to happen to you, I protect you. Still to this day, I will protect you. I will try to help anybody I can.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate you more than you'll ever imagine. But we will get back with everybody. Like I said, this is just, you know, a small portion. What me and him's talked about. And there's, like he said, Dustin said, there is a lot more. When he feels comfortable of speaking those things, we will hear it. Like I said, Mackenzie appreciates this.
Yep.
She really does. I can tell you right now, she appreciates this. She's smiling.
She is,
because she brought you to me, and we're now starting to see a pattern here. We're starting to see those holes being filled in that explain what might have happened that night, and I appreciate it. And like I said, if those parties are found guilty, I promised you, and I meant my word, that you will be able to stand in front of that person and tell them what you wanted to tell them, what they did to you and what they did to your life. Yeah. And I promised you that, and it will happen. So I'm going to cut it tonight. I appreciate everybody. Like I said, I still have some more stuff that I haven't showed. It's going to happen no matter what. We are going to get justice for Mackenzie. We are going to get justice for the other victims of this person. It's going to happen. We just need to stay together, and we need to fight, and we need to keep going forward with this. The truth will come out. It's coming out. And it'll happen. So I appreciate everybody tonight. Sorry about the delay. You got to understand the circumstances here. I apologize. Thank you. I love everybody that's following me. Everybody that's for justice for Mackenzie. So thank you.